Jean, and this is my world, at least the way I see it. If you are happy with the current administration, please just scroll by. This is not the channel for you. If you are not happy and you want to do something about it, come on in, grab a seat, get a pencil and a piece of paper because we do give homework. And I have fam here already. Yay! Dinky Jen is here. She popped in early so she could nap and feel refreshed for today's topic because she donated today's topic. Thank you so much, Jen, because I didn't know it was a thing. So I appreciate it. And it also affects Sam. So I'm glad you're here today. Good morning. How's your tea? There's my cousin Michelle. How you doing, sweetie poo? And we've got craziness going on over here in the States. And I know I should have been in the big meeting that 47 had with the generals, but I just couldn't. I could not. I went and saw Tabitha's little blurb about it, and she's like, everybody should go watch it. And I'm like, I'm going over to the Midas Touch and just have them tell me about it because I cannot listen to that man anymore. He's trying to weaponize our army against us. Ooh, man. You sent me an interesting video on Messenger that might be worth talking about too. Okay. Did I look at that? No. My bad. Yeah, we'll look at that too. Chris is here. How you doing, sweetheart? Good to see you. There's our dear Roberta. You didn't miss much with the... Oh, I didn't. The Tabitha was saying that the... Well, I scrolled by. I saw him standing there and my stomach went... So I just kept going. Her thing was that they were making the generals swear a loyalty pledge to him. And if you didn't swear a pledge to him, you were out. But all of the 475 generals did not show up. Only about 100 showed up. So we might have a chance, but they're supposed to swear an oath to the Constitution and the country, not to any one particular person. That's what he doesn't understand. U.S. families who need a POA for their adult children, Mama Bear legal forms. Oh, man. For what ages, Michelle? Roberta says, if anything, they sat stone cold and looked at him like he was nuts. We still have somebody in this country with a backbone. Yay, yay, yay. I hope they don't bend the knee. I really do. They chickened out on the oath taking unless he does it later. Yes. Yes. In one-on-one meetings. Oh, gee. I'd go back overseas. I wouldn't even be here. Michelle's looking at it now. Thank you, babe. Why can't MAGA see how trying to get generals to swear allegiance to him is not normal? What the hell is wrong with these people? Because he's a television personality and he's got all this charisma that the uneducated buy into. And even after everything that has happened, they still believe what he says. They don't do their research. I don't know if they can't do their research or can't read or what the issue is, but they still believe in what he says because he keeps repeating it. And they figure if he keeps repeating the same thing, it must be true. Like on every other speech, he said he didn't know anything about Project 2025. He's using the playbook, but he told everybody he didn't know anything about it. He told everybody the tariffs were not a tax. And no matter how many people told them that we pay the tariffs, they would not believe us because he said it was not a tax, that the other countries pay it. We don't pay it. We're going to be getting money in. And he's still talking about the trillions of dollars that we have gotten into America. They believe him. It was worth it to see. I'm so happy they didn't applaud him. OMG, I'm so happy. I played ostrich this morning. I stuck my head in the sand and said, no, 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 no. Shows available for adults and senior adults. Oh. So if senior adults can sign one, then they don't have to get it for their adult children. The adult children can get it themselves. Right? Uh, this gaslighting 101. $79. Wait a minute. I'll come back to you, Chris. Individual will be $159. Single person and $249. Wait a minute. Okay, POA is $79 for an individual and $159 for a single person and $249 for Thank you, Jen, because I was hoping she was going to put that in there. Thank you. I was waiting for somebody to ask because I don't remember. Chris says, as long as Supremes don't make it normal, I think charisma is also a myth that just like his riches. Oh, man. I forgot about them. Sam is saying, it is amazing that but what about MAGA peeps can't ask themselves, what would I do if Biden did this? Right? And that's what Obama keeps saying. If I had done this, they would be all up in arms and da 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 da. Mike Johnson would be standing on his head. I hope that man releases Mike Johnson's database profile. I played ostrich too, made a fox pumpkin, and then came up for breath. Sam says, people of age, I'm guessing. Medical or legal power of attorney. You know I'm scrolling back up because I forgot how we got onto this. U.S. families will need a power of attorney for their adult children. Mama Bear legal forms. Okay. So, medical or legal power of. So, why do we need a power of attorney for our adult children? I'm scrolling back. I can't tie the two together. Help me. Sam, a narcissist will tear you down, then come in and fix it and say, see, you couldn't do it without me. Yours are 85 pounds. Uh, yeah. I was trying to do the conversion in my head. I don't know what the numbers are today. Allows access to financial records and dorm rooms slash apartments. You know I'm trying to work this out in my head, right? You were discussing that at home last week on the Fox. Oh, thank you. You have a pumpkin for Friday. I'm still trying to get through this conversation. You're already up on Friday. And thank you. Break it down for me, cuz I'm gonna make you come up here and say it because I see it's too much typing. You want to turn your camera off and just come up here and tell us? I can drop the link. Oh, please don't call me. Because you know I'm going to forget and everybody needs to know. In the event they are unable to access their resources and the government tries to seize their resources. Oh, okay. You need it while you are clinically sane. If anything happens to you, the POA sorts out your finances. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Gotcha. Was getting ready to type. Girl, see, we need to just have an open forum. I have been one already for a friend. Oh, really? Sam has one for her mom. Okay. Her power of attorney is 65 pounds. You can? Okay, let me do this then because I am so out of my depth. They kept wanting to uh no they didn't. They asked me if I had one when I was admitted and I told them no and they left me alone. So I'm like, my children are better now, but back in the day, it's like, because my daughter has a shopping problem. I'd be sitting on the corner because she would have shopped all my money away. You're pretending the next few days aren't happening. I'm just trying to get through today. I have to deal with tomorrow on its own because this is just a general POA gives you access to take over for them if they are unable. Okay. Okay, here's Michelle.
Hi guys.
Hi, cuz.
The
Oh, now the
reason,
trash can cometh.
sorry.
There you go. Okay,
Okay.
speak on it. I'm doing
The,
like they do in church. Speak over it.
the reason this was brought to my attention is because I, of course, do all the paperwork for my son.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I have to do paperwork for him, they immediately ask me, where is he? Most times he's not here because he's on campus. And they'll tell me they can't talk to me because there's no legal power of attorney enacted. I'm like, there's not one needed. He's giving me permission. Well, we need paperwork verifying that. Legally, they don't. But they're scared of the alabaster ambassador. So they're not going to move forward until you have a power of attorney in place. The other thing we see when we don't want to see it is in the event one of our young adults is no longer with us. If they're a person who lives on campus, the family does not get access to the dorm room. If they live in an apartment, the government can block you from going into your family member's apartment. So if you had legal power of attorney over your child or your young adult, then you are legally within your rights to go into that property. I mean, especially in the event of some nefarious cover up, you visibly can witness what they're doing. They can't lie to you. In the case of an adult with an intellectual disability, such as one my son faces, you need to have legal power of attorney because in the case where he was recently ill, I had a nurse who told me I needed to step out of the room because she needed to talk with him. He doesn't have the capacity to have an independent conversation with you. So I need to be witness and verify that you're asking him a question that's in his scope to answer. And she was adamant. I left the room. He didn't say a word. After 3 minutes, she came out and goes, "Can you come in and help him answer my questions?" And I said, "No, because your questions are beneath his intellect. So he won't answer them. And you're beneath my conversation level, so I won't talk to you either. Go find your supervisor, go find your mother, go find Jesus. But I don't have time." So if anyone's ever wondering if yes, Michelle is just as tenacious in person as she is over the interwebs, she is.
She's who I call when I want somebody's feelings hurt. If my daughter's at work,
I'm
she's
the
who I
backup
call
plan.
because she can hurt your feelings.
And it's not personal, it's just business.
She
Sometimes it's
just
none of their business.
she just does it. And Chris says my helper at one point, my fiance, has POA financial and medical.
Very good.
Okay. Jen says when I first bought it, it was 80 pounds, and that was in 2020. Okay, so it's gone up in 4 years, 5 years.
Okay. Okay.
All military families are required to have them. When I was diagnosed, I filled all that out. Oh, okay, okay. But
See,
I
they
have a
don't.
key to my daughter's apartment. So
If they consider
theoretically,
your
they cannot stop.
daughter's, if they consider your daughter's home a secondary scene, they can bar you from access saying you were trampling over evidence that will help them resolve or solve a crime.
But a POA would not override that.
A legal power of attorney would.
Not if they designated a crime scene.
They can only do that if you challenge that it's not a crime scene. You can go to court as her representative and say this was not a crime scene, and they can't bar you from saying that. You can tie their hands up while you check out the house.
Roberta says anyone 18 or older, whether living with you or not, needs to have one.
Hmm.
Then she says, Michelle, you said it nicer than I would have.
I try to be nice only because I don't want to go to jail. It doesn't mean I won't go to war. It just means I don't want to go to jail.
Chris says, and we update periodically.
Yes.
So when you update, do you need to pay the fee again?
We're going to find out because Michelle is filling it out right now. I never had one before. I never needed one before. But these past few weeks have shown me that I do.
Are you doing it online?
Yes.
Would you be kind enough to drop the link,
MamaBearLegalForms.com.
please?
Here, let me open up that window so I can.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of
Roberta
course.
says, if you have a key or not, the neighbor can have a key. A legal POA gives you, excuse the pun, gives you power.
Just remember that they're not
Okay.
using the laws that the paperwork shows.
That's true.
Protect yourself. And we need more thummies, people, please. And thank you. I'm getting you in stereo. I'm sorry.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that does that.
Oh no, that's just because I had to open up another device.
Right. Roberta says, do it online, Michelle. Don't sign it. Print it out and have it notarized.
I will.
Oh.
Wait a
Oh.
minute. I have to split my screen so I can see.
And of course, it's Tuesday. I'm live, and here come the trash trucks.
Of course.
They just know. So we'll be done because that's the second one. I have never paid a fee. What's the fee you speak of? To update the power of attorney. Because you said you updated periodically, and I wanted to know, did they charge you each time you updated it? Roberta says, I don't make photocopies unless those are also notarized. Really? Okay. That's why we do these. Cause I had I'm too trusting. And there's the link, mamabearlegalforms.com. Okay, thank you.
Of course.
This is craziness.
We live in crazy times.
Oh, yes we do. Yes we do. Yes we do. Let me Sam, I think I looked at this.
Okay, I am going to step down and finish doing this paperwork.
Okay,
I
baby.
will be
Thank you so much for
listening.
coming up.
Oh, my pleasure. I hope it gives everybody else an idea of ways to protect themselves
Well, they
and their
don't
family
wouldn't get
members.
because this is ridiculous.
It is, but this is where we are.
And
When you let
we're doing the
children
best we
vote, you end up
can.
with a child in office. Okay, guys, have a great one.
Bye bye. No, copies are not legal. They want the original. And even if you have the original and a copy, so that you can show them it's a copy and hand it to them, they won't take it. They want the original. My mom had a lawyer draw up her POA, so that was the cost involved for her. Not had it updated though, but as she hasn't canceled it, it's still current. Yes, thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it. Chris says, VJ, there is currently no fee in Illinois, but I found another crack. Is it a good crack or is it a bad crack? Is it going to piss us off? And you're just going to end with that. Well, while you fill in the blanks, because you know I don't know what's happening, I'm going to pull this up that Sam sent us, and then we're going to get into the topic at hand, which is tying into kind of what we were talking about.
Tim Scott, the number one black male white supremacist. Senator Tim Scott hasn't said a word, even though Donald Trump
has
has
gutted
gutted
his legacy in policy. Here it is.
Did you ever think that she actually appointed you, Tim? And think of it, appointed, and you're the senator of his state, and she endorsed me. You must really hate her. No, it's a shame. It's a shame. Uh-oh.
I just love you.
No, that's good. That's why he's a great politician.
That is the most remarkable yes, a boss moment we have ever seen in the modern context. Man, flawless, sir. You would have made an excellent slave. Put it up for a man. This man's a joke. Tim Scott is under fire over his silence while Donald Trump gutted federal programs that help minority-run businesses that Tim Scott, Senator Scott, once called his legacy. For years, the South Carolina Senator Tim Scott has championed the Minority Business Development Agency, an office under the direction of the Commerce Department. Senator Scott led congressional efforts to permanently authorize the agency, expand its services into rural areas, and leverage the program to help minority-owned businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic, according to Politico. It was actually a well thought out and developing policy. I remember when they made the recommendation and then the advocacy for it to expand to rural America. Why? Because you won't find anyone poorer than Black folk inside of rural communities that have access to virtually no resources. So that's the reason it was proposed. That point is important to the principle. It means you have someone or a bunch of someone looking at cause and effect, looking at what gets us to the best outcome possible for this particular group. Perfect? Hell no, not even close to being perfect, but developing, all right? Now, thanks to the Trump administration and their budget cuts, the Minority Business Development Agency, which funds grants to business owners and provides technical assistance, support, and mentorship, has lost how many? 100% of its staff. That's about 50 people in all. They have all been placed on administrative leave or transferred to other posts within the Department of Commerce. A Commerce employee and a Democratic staffer granted anonymity to discuss personnel matters told Politico. Besides the job cuts, all grants to the agency's 41 business centers were terminated. That's according to a Commerce employee. A letter sent April 17th by Dodge worker Nate Kavanaugh, under the authority of Keith Sunderland, acting undersecretary of the MBDA and the current Deputy Secretary of Labor, specifically cited Trump's executive order to minimize the agency. They obliterated it. Scott, who has prioritized efforts to expand access to capital and economic mobility for minority entrepreneurs, has said nothing about the dissolution of his signature project. The senator was one of Donald Trump's most visible tap dancers during the presidential campaign and was once rumored to be a leading contender to be his vice presidential running mate, but apparently that hasn't earned him much influence with the president. Now, I remember when they floated Tim Scott could become the next vice presidential pick. No, that was before Trump won South Carolina. That was before he got all of his endorsements out of South Carolina. Once he got his endorsements out of South Carolina, Tim who? Scott might not have seen it coming. Man, you have to be, I don't like to call anybody dumb, sir. I'm a professor. But damn it, whatever word is as close as dumb as possible without saying dumb, that's what you are if you didn't see this coming. Scott may not have seen it coming. He reportedly told minority businesses he remains supportive of the program's mission, but wishes the agency would change its name, fearing it might be grouped in with DEI efforts targeted for elimination by the president, according to one of the Commerce Department employees. Sir, if a leader will get rid of an effective program because they don't like the name, why in the hell are you still supporting that leader? Though silent now, Scott was quick to defend Trump during the campaign, especially when matters of race were concerned. He said the Republican nominee was, quote, taken out of context when he accused migrants of taking Black jobs during his debate last summer against Joe Biden. Quote, I think what he meant to say was the fact that 2/3 of the jobs he created went to African Americans, Hispanics, and women, Scott said. I think we should take a whole look at the picture, and I don't think that happens. Critics have assailed Scott silent. Scott is always the good MAGA soldier. How does he sleep at night? Asked one ex-account holder. Quote, talk is cheap, especially when your legacy gets bulldozed and you don't even flinch, added one commenter. Quote, guess silence is the new strategy. The Commerce Department employee went further, calling out Scott's cowardice. Asked to comment about the NBDA, a Scott spokesperson trumpeted the senator's record of working with Trump to deliver, quote, life-changing results for minority communities around the nation. You damn right, it's hella life-changing. We just reported on a federal worker who went to work, Black woman, put her head on her desk and died because of the stress associated with potential layoffs, her being 5 years away from retirement at an agency she's been with for over 20 years. You all right?
Yeah, I saw this. I don't understand. Oh, what happened to my split screen? It disappeared. I don't understand. Well, I don't understand how I have this thing plugged in and it's telling me it's not charging. What the hey? There's a lot I don't understand. Okay. I don't understand Black MAGA. I don't understand. I just don't understand Black MAGA. Sam, I saw this clip when it was going down, and yeah, it is a cliffhanger. Did Chris ever answer? No, she left it like that. I he and Tim Scott and Byron Donalds should be placed in a garbage bag and dropped off the Tallahassee Bridge. They are both disgraces. And I am surprised when I found out that Tim Scott had actually put that through and it was adopted in the first place, because he's a waste of space, and he thought he was going to be the VP nominee. He should have known that, because Trump is biased. And he's the one that stands up there on stage and says Trump is not a bigot. Seriously? Brian Donalds is the one who thought he was going to be in the cabinet because he's one of the smart ones. And I really don't have anything politically correct that I can say about them on air. So everybody stick your comments in the chat, and I'll read the comments, and then we'll go over to Jennifer's thing, because I can. Tim Scott, Byron Donalds, and Clarence Thomas, or Uncle Tom's. not because they are married to European women, but because of the way they act. I've got a whole bunch of biracial relatives. I don't have a problem with that. But I have a problem with bootlickers, suck ups, and brown nosers. And I've always had a problem with brown nosers, and I don't care what color you are. Don't make them open either end. Times and people change, so you need to update regularly. Don't make them open ended either. Okay. Okay. Jen says, me and mom will do hers tomorrow before November because she told me it is 82 pounds now and will go up to 92 pounds in November. Michelle says, when you have things to verify your ownership, copyright, mail a copy to yourself. Don't open it. Hi, Pinky. Oh, you're fine. There's always the replay. And you got here just in time to see the brown nosers. Because we were talking about POCs before, and you're in the house with your mother, so you know. We had her explain it, so you already know you're ahead of the time. Yes, it does. Which is how I always get confused. I love not that whole taken out of context BS. It wasn't taken out of context. All you have to do is pay attention to what he says. It is one of their go-to excuses for the orange orangutan. Yeah. Yes, it is. Sam. Or he was just being sarcastic. No, he's trying to stay in good with Daddy. Because as Byron Donald says, Daddy's home. That. No, he wasn't joking. No, he wasn't joking, Sam. He actually was hoping people would believe that it was taken out of context. He really was hoping that people would believe that. I revoke their right to be called black. We don't know them. They've never been to the cookout, and they will not be. We will put a little cage around the cookout if we see them drive up, because they cannot come in. That's because I said or, not but. Please reread. Chris, why am I always misreading what you say? I did that last week. VJ, there is currently no feed in it, or I found another crack. It still means the same thing to me. Or I found another crack. There is currently no fee in Illinois, or I found another crack. Oh, so you just slipped in through the crack. Got it. How did I look at or and say but? You know there's a disconnect between my brain and my mouth. Yeah, Chris, just why is it always you I do that on? Nothing personal. Nothing personal. It just happens that way. Michelle said, no, Roberta says to Michelle, I have more valid black card than Tim Scott. Oh my gosh. Because we know when Byron Donald gave his vote for Mike Johnson to be Speaker of the House, the Republicans clapped him on the back and they rubbed the back of his head like, good boy, good boy. Oh, don't even get me started on Judge Tom. As long as he was getting free, Winnebagos and Holiday, he didn't care how he breaks the law. And his wife is the same way, and she's an attorney. And Michelle's agreeing with Roberta. Girl, it is. Roberta says, on the open-ended remark, if you separate an open-ended POA, still gives them access. I understood that. I just didn't know that you could make it open ended. I didn't realize that that was an option. Roberta says, Michelle, I've been to the barbecue and brought the baked beans. Hold it down. Yeah, we don't even give them the address. But you know there are always gate crashers, and we are not going to let them crash this gate. In the apocalypse, they're tying their laces together. Ah! Oh, okay. Now, topic at hand. And thank you again, Dinky Jen, for this. Because you know I didn't know. You all open it up for me. They are starting or they want to start digital IDs in the UK. Also where you are, Sam. Because I saw a blurb in Australia, but I figured I'd just make one. I'm lumping you two together. Roberta says, I'm the one that y'all leave behind so you can get away. No, baby, we're gonna take you with us. We're not gonna leave anybody behind. Not with them anyway. So, it wasn't supposed to. Oh, okay, I got it. So this is Keir Starmer, at the UK speaking about the digital IVs, and I'll let him explain it because he does a better job. Oh, wait a minute. I remembered. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh no, I went back to the beginning. Hold on. Let me how did I go back to the beginning? Luckily, I have the bookmark. Why is it at the beginning? Oh man. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be here in a minute. I gotta go back to my description. This is so much easier on StreamYard. I'm just saying. This is so much easier on StreamYard. I'm just saying. I don't know why I did this. I know you can see my eyes running all over the place.
Thank you.
That's because it didn't give it to me for. Okay, hold on. Keep talking. I didn't do a start at. Just ugly. 6:25. I remember the 25, but we gotta find out what the first number was.
Difference under the same flag. Because wherever you are in the world, we all have our different national symbols. And what I'll say is this: we must fight for them Stand up to those who tell us that there's a
Why is there a third trash truck coming through here? Hold on.
the fires and the factories across the country. In public services, absolutely, for all of us, from healthcare to transport, and financial prudence, which is non-negotiable. But it does also mean stripping out regulation so we can build more and build more quickly. And the private sector can create wealth in every community. Now,
Okay, we're going to go to the next one, and I'm going to fast forward him to get where we need to be, because this is not it. Okay, sorry about that. Were you all looking at a black screen? I am so sorry. Oh, you all did a lot of talking while I was gone. The one that y'all leave behind. No. Da. Actually, don't play that. Actually, I can't. I'm gonna pull this up in a new tab, and oh, you know what, sis, Ola Joe did not or has not. Let me say, she has not scheduled a live yet, so we got a little extra time. So I'm going to put Keir over here and let him do his thing until he gets to what we wanted to talk about. And I don't know. That was a check mark. I guess I didn't check. Man. And I was so good. I had all this ready. I had it in the bookmarks, and I still messed up. Life happens. Anyway, they have this petition that they are signing. Yes, I'm hitting all the buttons. Yay, there we go. Okay. They are signing a petition to not. Why is that black? I've got share screen on, it's sitting right there, and it's black. What the hey? Okay, I don't know what happened, but here we go. Lord. Mm-mm. Okay. They have 2,642,217 signatures. And it says, we demand that the UK government immediately commits to not introducing a digital ID card. There are reports that this is being looked at. Oh, I didn't get the whole thing. Their premise is that we think that it would be a step towards mass surveillance and digital control, and that no one should be forced to register with a state-controlled ID system. We oppose the creation of any national ID system. ID cards were scrapped in 2010, in our view, for a good reason. So they want to go back to a system that they have already deemed not useful. Why? They claim it's to keep illegals from finding work, because if they have the cards, if they don't have the cards, they won't be able to get work. But then they also say that if people don't have smartphones, they can still get the paper cards. Gammy's packing heat. Y'all, okay. How are you peeps by Chicago? Come outside. Did you see Ice trying to catch a guy on? I saw that. That was so funny. That was so funny. I'm happy for him. You saw someone post a press conference where the mayor said the police were directed to not get in the way of lawful arrests, but we're not allowed to aid them, right? No, Ola Joe goes live on Tuesday. So yeah, I don't think Granny D's going live this week, but Ola Joe usually goes live after me, but she's been off schedule. Some friendly houses have a way to let people know it is a safe zone. Really? We do not want our digital IDs online, and we are petitioning against it because of hackers, etc. That was a live count of people signing the petition. Yay! We see a screen with green on it. I don't know what's going on. Thank you, Michelle. We have... No, I just wanted to show them that as well. Since you sent it to me, I have to scan and get back to the other. I never had a physical ID card first time around, and definitely not online. My driver's license is now my recent ID. They want to attach them to your phones, and while I look at Keir on the side here and see what's going on, Jennifer also asked if we had anything like this going on in the States. I'm like, I don't know. So I went to check, and by golly, we do. If I can get this to play. This was acting all kinds of crazy. Okay.
White House is making a play to put America at the forefront of the cryptocurrency world, and the key to its plan might surprise you: your digital identity. As Anthony Kimmery at biometricupdate.com reports, the Treasury Department just put out a public call for ideas. They're asking banks, tech companies, and the public for fresh ways to stop financial crime in the crypto market. The focus is on 4 key areas: harnessing artificial intelligence, improving how financial systems communicate, monitoring the blockchain for illegal activity, and most importantly, securely verifying who you are online. So, why the big focus on digital ID? The administration sees it as the bedrock for both security and innovation. A government working group has called digital identity providers key infrastructure for the entire crypto economy. They're even highlighting cutting-edge privacy tools like so-called zero-knowledge proofs, which let you prove who you are without revealing sensitive data. The goal is to balance security with personal privacy. Industry experts agree that identity is crucial, and they're pushing for a national digital identity strategy. They note that while things like mobile driver's licenses are a good start, they're not nearly enough. How the public and private sectors respond to this call for ideas could shape the rules of the road for digital finance, AI, and cybersecurity for years to come. The White House is making a
I don't know that I like that. Sam said, yeah, Aussie have been trying to get a national ID card for decades. I'm not entirely opposed to it, but would need more info before deciding. Right. So then I went to our old friend Google. You know, I'm mad at Google, but I went to Google. And they said, oh, they said a lot of fun things. We don't have a national one. We have one by states. And so far, they are in Arizona, California, Colorado, Georgia, Hawaii, Iowa, Louisiana, Maryland, New Mexico, New York, Ohio, Utah, Virginia, West Virginia, as well as those from Puerto Rico. And Forbes, they asked Forbes, what is the risk of a digital ID? And they said a single and unique digital identity and centralizing databases would remove much of the individual's agency in managing their data. This information could be used to profile individuals across multiple data sets and would pose particular risks to marginalized communities. Yeah, they're on the same token, they have also started looking into this at Homeland Security, which would make it federal. And they are looking at the digital IDs. We seek to assess and manage risks associated with new, emerging, and disruptive technologies that may affect the department's ability to establish and verify identity of entities, natural person and non-person. If it's a non-person, how can they have a digital identity? To strengthen and manage risk across a diverse range of DHS missions. They also have privacy enhancing technologies, which we don't believe, combine data analytics and simulation capabilities. We will experiment to understand the limitations of learning modules from simulated environments while exploring model test model paradigms. Trust and safety. We endeavor to understand how trust can be gained, lost, and enhanced between entities on digital platforms. I don't know about you, but that sounds like gaslighting to me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. The way this government is treating blue states, I say no. I'm right there with. I'm in a red state and I still say no. Isn't that the digital version of a real ID? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, and Miss in Illinois. Where's my cue? I got one for you.
I'm trying to be.
Hold on. Make sure I got this tab on here for you, Chris. I don't know who this guy is. They did. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Secretary of State for Illinois.
I'm trying to be sweet and kind here today. We walked into an office where we were dealing with carbon paper, fax machines. We still have fax machines. So when I hear people say, why is it taking so long? It literally blows my mind. We have over 8.5 million individuals that have state IDs and driver's license. We have over 11 million license plates out there. The technology to get this done in a safe way that's unhackable and secure, if we get it done in a year, would be a miracle of epic proportions. So I feel good about where we're at. It takes a long time, and as far as Apple, we went through the RFP process. We have a modernization team that is committed, relentlessly driven, and working their ass off to get this done as quickly as possible. It is my goal to get this done before the end of this calendar year. I think it's doable, but if folks could even understand the work that we have to do to get this done, it is a monumental task that we're putting a lot of resources behind.
Transactions get frozen because you attended the wrong rally.
Okay. I know how we feel about the muskrat. This is not the muskrat. This is an AI simulation of him. Unfortunately, he's talking some good stuff. Why they upped language from Homeland? I don't know why. There is no unhackable system. That point. I'm going to start him from the beginning. He is in the playlist. I apologize with his imagery, but he's saying some good stuff while I get back to Keir, and then we'll turn him off. But he's unfortunately the guy who put this on really it hit home for me.
Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing you need government permission just to buy groceries, fill your gas tank, or even access your own money. Sounds like science fiction, right? But it's the very real path that digital ID systems are pushing us toward. Once introduced, they don't just make life easier, they make life controlled. And history shows us something important. When it's free, you are the product, and once freedoms are handed over, they rarely come back. Do you remember when you first got a social security number? It was supposed to be just for retirement benefits, nothing more. They even printed "not for identification purposes" right on the cards. But look what happened over the decades. Slowly, quietly, that number became the key to everything. Your credit, your healthcare, your employment, your banking. What started as a simple retirement program became the foundation of a surveillance system most people don't even realize exists. Now they want to do the same thing, but this time, it's not just a number on a card you can leave at home. This time, it's a digital system that knows where you are, what you're buying, who you're talking to, and what you're thinking, based on what you search for online. They're calling it a digital ID, and they're wrapping it up in the same promises they always use: convenience, security, efficiency, But here's what a digital ID really means in plain English. It's like having a government agent following you around with a clipboard, writing down everything you do, everywhere you go, everyone you talk to, and every penny you spend. Except this agent never sleeps, never takes a break, and never forgets anything, ever. The digital ID they're pushing is essentially a unified digital passport that ties together your identity with your finances, your healthcare records, your travel history, and your online activity. Every website you visit, every purchase you make, every doctor's appointment you attend, it all gets connected to one central profile that the government can access whenever they want, for whatever reason they decide is important. They're marketing this as the ultimate convenience. Think how easy it'll be, they say. No more fumbling with multiple cards or passwords. One simple digital identity for everything. But you know what? The most convenient thing for a prison guard is when all the inmates are locked in their cells. Convenient for whom, exactly? This isn't some far-off possibility we're talking about. Right now, across the Atlantic, our allies in Britain are rolling out something called the Brit Card, and watching what's happening there is like getting a preview of coming attractions. The British government started with all the same friendly language we're hearing here. They said it would streamline services, enhance security, and prevent another scandal like what happened to the Caribbean immigrants who couldn't prove their right to be in the country after living there for decades. They even claimed it would stop people from crossing the English Channel in small boats, though anyone with half a brain can see that's complete nonsense. People working in the underground economy aren't exactly worried about carrying official government identification. But here's where it gets disturbing, and why every American should be paying attention. The Brit Card isn't just about proving who you are online. It's about building a centralized, state-controlled digital identity system that connects your finances, your medical history, your travel movements, your social media activity, and even your real-world social interactions. It's like a digital dog collar, and once it's clipped around your neck, you can't take it off. Now, the British government is calling it optional for now. Sound familiar? Remember when they said the same thing about vaccine passports? Oh, it's just temporary, they said. Just for public health, they promised. Nobody's forcing you to get one, they insisted. But within weeks, you couldn't get into a restaurant or fly on an airplane without showing your papers. I'm pretty sure the Brit Card will be following exactly the same playbook. Once these systems are in place, they become incredibly easy to expand, quietly, incrementally, until suddenly you need your digital ID to apply for a job, then to rent an apartment, then to take public transportation, then to open a bank account. And before you know it, what was once optional becomes absolutely essential for anything you want to do in modern society. Here's the thing that should make every American's blood run cold. This same pattern is already starting here in the United States. We might not have a Brit Card, but we're building the infrastructure for the same system, piece by piece, regulation by regulation, convenience by convenience. Think about how much has already changed just in the past few years. Your driver's license is becoming a real ID whether you like it or not. Your banking is moving digital whether you want it to or not. More and more services require you to verify your identity online using systems that track and store everything you do. Each step seems reasonable by itself, but when you connect the dots, the picture that emerges should terrify anyone who values freedom. The question isn't whether the government can legally create a mandatory digital ID system. They can't just wave a magic wand and make it happen overnight. Any mandatory system would require new legislation, just like when they tried this before with the Identity Cards Act back in the 2000s in Britain, which, by the way, got repealed because people fought back against it. But here's what's different now. They don't need to make it legally mandatory if they can make it practically impossible to live without. And that's exactly what's happening. Look around you. How much of your life already depends on digital systems? Your banking, your healthcare, your shopping, your communication with family and friends. Each of these systems is already collecting data about you, already tracking your behavior, already building a profile of who you are and what you do. A unified digital ID doesn't create surveillance, it just makes the surveillance more efficient. And once that infrastructure is in place, flipping the switch from optional to required becomes as simple as changing a few lines of code. No dramatic legislation needed. No big announcement.
And that's where we are. That's what we are. Jen says, I carry my VAC card everywhere with updated VACs. Michelle says, does anybody remember when Social Security cards were not a form of ID? He also talks about that on this video. But I don't want to play the whole video here because of copyright. But yeah, he goes into that as well. It's I never thought about it like that. But when he breaks it down, it's kind of like, OMG, he's right. Which is why I put this on here, because he ties the strings together that I didn't realize were really there. But then, I still live in this little world where everything is fair and everybody is good, and we don't have this kind of crap. I'm growing up, I'm getting there. Yours still says not for identification. I don't carry mine with me. At one point in time, they had put our Social Security numbers on our badges at work. And I came home and I called the Social Security office and told them and asked them what people could do with my Social Security number. And they said, oh, people can take out a mortgage for a house in your name if they have your Social Security number. I went to HR and told them to take that off. You couldn't access your Social Security account without doing the digital ID? I could. They've got a new website. It's not ssa.gov anymore. It's I think it's login.gov. They've got a whole new system now, and you have to go through the new system and link it to your old system in order to get into your records. Because I don't have a digital ID, and that's what I had to do. Because I went into the SSA, and they said we're switching over to the new system. So I had to go over to the new system and register it and link my old one to the new one. Roberta says, and my everything is still in the state system, so they already have it all. But are they going to use it? Missouri used to require your Social Security number as your driver's license. Oh, that was forever ago. You're right, but that was forever ago. This is crazy. This is really just absolutely crazy. Okay, I found Keir. Hold on, let me get him over here. Or rather, I found where I wanted to be. I always had him. I just had to find out where I wanted to be. And I'm going to update the link. Well, I'll update the link in the description.
Managerial sense. That is important. Of course it is. People are very disappointed with the pace of change in government. It's so much slower than almost every other facet of their lives. So we do have to speed up. Poor delivery is a threat to mainstream politics. But renewal is a deeper argument. It means demonstrating to working people that, as well as the economy, the state is being run in their interests. And that does mean we've got to look ourselves in the mirror and recognise where we've allowed our parties to shy away from people's concerns and let the politics of purity patronise people. Now, you will all have issues in your own countries, but in Britain, it's illegal migration. And I suspect that may be the same in a number of other countries. For too many years, it's been too easy for people to come here slip into the shadow economy and remain here illegally. Because, frankly, we've been squeamish about saying things that are clearly true. It's not just that it's not compassionate left-wing politics to rely on labour that exploits foreign workers and undercuts fair wages, but the simple fact that every nation needs to have control over its borders. We do need to know who is in our country. Our immigration system does need to be fair if we want to maintain that binding contract that our politics is built on. Otherwise, it undermines trust, undermines people's faith that we're on their side, and their belief that the state can and will work for them. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on the root causes, looking upstream to tackle poverty, conflict, climate change, issues that aren't just intolerable for those of us who care about inequality and injustice wherever it's found in the world, but which have clear consequences for our own citizens. Take Russia's aggression in Ukraine. We all have a responsibility for the future of our continent, to stand tall where oppression and violence rears its head. But it is also about energy security, because Putin and other tyrants have used their control over energy supplies as a threat. They've pushed up energy bills, threatened to keep doing so unless they get their way. And that's why we're investing in our own energy, sovereign control over our own future, whether that's nuclear, wind, solar power. Now this will...
You know what that sounds like? We're going to get rid of all the illegal aliens because they're taking all the black jobs. These people are crazy. They are stark stir. That's how they got your info. Yeah. I may be wrong then because I go through the login process. Login.gov. Okay. I mean, for us, we went overseas to military bases. So my DNA is also on record because of where we were stationed. Yours is, but what about those of us who weren't in the military? No, Roberta, you have to choose between old and new systems for SS login. Okay, here, let's do this. Okay. When you put in SSA.gov, Roberta, this is what they give you. And if you want to go to an online My Social Security account, SSA.gov account, they tell you to learn about changes they've made, but when you go to sign in, you have to go to sign in with login.gov. And when you create a login.gov account, they will merge your SSA.gov with login.gov. You said sign. Let's see, sign in with ID.me. Is that what you're talking about? You signed in with ID. This is not a government entity. And it is not under their control, and it may not follow SSA's privacy. So you don't want to do ID.me. You want to do the login.gov. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, see, I don't use my biometrics because my hands are either cold or they're wet or I've put lotion on them, and my fingerprints don't always match. And as I'm getting older, if I get cataracts and I have to have cataract surgery, they can't use my eyes. If I'm in a car accident and I have facial injuries, my facial recognition won't work. So I just use the password and call it a day. Mostly my daughter does it. I just go in once every 6 months to update designated survivor. Okay, okay. Um, so yeah, Jen, that sounds like we have to get the illegal aliens out, so because they're taking the black jobs. But as I had said, and Michelle had said, and Jasmine Crockett had said, the aliens are working in the fields. I'm not working in anybody's field. And Nebraska is having a big problem now because they don't have any workers. And they don't understand why the blacks don't want to come and work for them. You think? I did not realize that you had so much trouble with illegal aliens in the UK. But I kind of agree with you that the digital ID is not the way to go. And with the hackers and everything out there, um, I don't have anything in my Google Wallet. I don't have Apple Pay. I don't have Samsung Pay. I don't have any, and I don't do any online banking from my phone. I don't have any of that on my phone. And now that 47's in office, and I changed all my password, you get that little blurb that says, do you want us to save your password? I tell them no. No, do not save my password. When I order things online and they ask me, do you want us to save your credit card information so that you can check out faster next time? I tell them no. I am part of a class action suit against my hospital because our electronic charting was hacked. I think I'm only getting $31, but I'm getting $31 and free monitoring. We can't use paper charts anymore. We don't write it. We have it electronically. They were hacked. X was hacked, and the Muskrat, the chief hacker, his platform was hacked and they couldn't get out of it. And when they put the sucking of the tolls in the HUD offices, and they couldn't get it off of there and had to manually walk around and turn off each individual screen. I don't trust them. Also, be careful when you go into places that have free Wi-Fi. You can easily get hacked there if you use their free Wi-Fi. The only issue I have with the undocumented is that they get treated so badly and paid less than slave wages, they can't get ahead to go through the right channels. They did that on purpose. Remember, one of the first things he did was fire the immigration judges. It was taking like 9 years to go through the naturalization process in the beginning, and people were going to court. ICE is snatching them up from the courts, and they're trying to do the right thing, and then they're, taking out the lawyers and the judges, so it makes that process even longer than it normally would. They're not trying to help get these people documented. We have too many illegal immigrants holed up in hotels and incorrect housing solutions that are not properly documented. A lot of them come over here to get free housing, health care, money, phones, jobs. So instead of freezing them out so that they can't work and support themselves, why don't we fast track them to get them registered and get them their papers so that they can legally work and get ahead and not be a burden on the system? Proves what I said. No system is unhackable. Exactly, Roberta. Exactly. Because when they hacked King Charles's phone when he was still playing around with Camilla, I was kind of like, okay, I know he's got a greater security system than I have, and if they can hack his cell phone, I'm not putting anything on my phone. Jen says, I don't mind immigrants coming over if they can speak English and do the work, but not to be a grab and get free for all. I respect people fleeing war-torn countries that need our help. Oh yeah, right. They have to be a viable part of society. They got to come over and work. I agree with that. Gee, if only someone would put forth a bill that would update the immigration system. Oh, I don't know. Who could we suggest that to? Oh, remember the judge who got arrested because she was telling her clients to go out the back door? And they arrested her for obstruction of justice? They won't even let you be nice. Australia has been built on the sweat and tears of immigrants. I agree with you, Dinky. Same thing here. We Sam, Australia was built because USA said we're not taking any more of your prisoners. So they had to go down to Australia and start all over again. We started out the same exact way. But we broke free first, so they had to come down there. Jen says, I wish the government would find a solution, but they are dragging their heels. The system is not working. No, the system's broken. It's yours is broken, ours is broken, and the people in power, they're not doing it. They're just flat out not doing the job. And unfortunately, when they're on campaign, they tell you everything they think you want to hear in order to get elected. And then after they get elected, they do what they want. Or they do what their friends want them to do. They're not looking out for the people. They really are not. And Keir stood there and said, we're looking out for the workers. I don't know anybody who's looking out for the workers. I wanted to say the union, but the unions are corrupt. So if you have to work to support yourself, you're on your own. You're really on your own. I worked for a nonprofit hospital that became a for-profit hospital that went back to being a nonprofit hospital. Even with a union, we still caught it. Unfortunately, we were in the unit. I don't know why we weren't in the unit with the nurses, but we were in the unit with the housekeepers and food service. So we couldn't catch a break. Roberta says USA did start this way and we rose up. So they went to Australia and then they rose up and they still haven't learned, right? Then after Australia rose up, then they went to New Zealand, right? Michelle says, I stole Pip. Ask no questions. You know you can't tell me things and then tell me not to ask questions. You know me better than that. What's wrong with you? Chris says they want to keep getting paid for doing nothing. I know. And we didn't talk about this. I think they finally swore in. Arizona voted in a Democrat. Thank you, Arizona. Mike Johnson wouldn't swear her in. Mike Johnson put Congress on a recess so as not to swear her in because he doesn't want to have another Democratic vote on the budget. And this is the last day in September. So if he doesn't get his act together and they sign this budget resolution, whatever they put on the table today, tomorrow our government shuts down. And that's probably why Daddy wanted the judges here to swear allegiance to him today, because then he could put the military out in the states and say, the government shut down, we got to protect the people. Mike Johnson is playing, he's playing games. Because remember, they went on recess early, they went on vacation early because he didn't want to vote on the Epstein files. Now we got another Democrat. Have you noticed how gray his hair's getting? Chris says they want to keep getting, yep. Roberta says, Michelle, you know she's going to take that as a challenge. She knows me better than that. I don't know why she played me like that. I'm holding her for ransom. Who's going to ransom her? Sam says, and they are already blaming the Dems for the shutdown. Oh, tomorrow they'll be blaming Biden. Because you know they blame everything on Biden. It's so easy. It's so they can vote on Epstein. Too sad. Epstein will still be there in 2 weeks. Oh yeah, we're not going to forget Epstein. We're not. They keep throwing smoke. They keep doing stuff. And they tried to pull all of the generals from across the pond. All that does is tell our enemies, go get them because the generals are not there. They don't think it through. Honest to Pete. It is 3:30, fam. Anybody? Who's got a funny? I didn't bring a funny today. Who's got a funny to end on? Chris says, shut down, Republican fault, repeat ad nauseum. Dems are trying. They are trying. She has people. That is funny. She has people. This is tough. This is really, really tough. And the things we discussed. Now, Jen can sign the petition. Sam, being in Australia, I don't know if you can sign that petition or not, but you know, you've got similar government going on there. I know, I need to pull my head out, but he just, I'm to the point where if Mike Shady or orangutan are speaking, I can't listen to them anymore. And we know why, because I have this knee jerk thing of being lied to, and I know they're lying. And I can't believe that people are actually believing what they're saying. I you know, being stupid should be against the law. It really should be. It just should be against the law. We should be able to round them all up and put them in jail and feed them knowledge until it finally sinks in. Because this is ridiculous that the uneducated are overwhelming the educated people. And I still blame it on the over 9 million people who did not vote at all. I blame it on them. Because if they had voted, we wouldn't be in this mess that we're in right now. Roberta says, the only funny I have is the sad face when Hexick didn't get his standing ovation and no one clapped or stood for Trump. Oh, that is funny. Oh, that's funny. That is so funny. Remember the State of the Union, and Trump said, I could make all of the best laws, I could cure cancer, and the Democrats would not clap for me. And we're all sitting there looking at him going, and you're a fool. That's funny. That is funny. I want to thank everybody who spent this last hour and 36 minutes with me. You could have spent them anywhere, but you chose to spend them with me, and I do not take it lightly. Uneducated does not equal stupidity. Yeah, that's true, but right now, it feels like it should be equal. Or they wouldn't have made the stupid choices that they made. They knew what the first term was like. Why would you want to go through that again? You need to see that. You had to watch it, at least the end. Okay. I'll go watch the end, but man, oh man, as long as I don't have to hear him speak, I can't. I can't. I cannot believe that the way his mind is going, that somebody hasn't taken him out of office, because he really is unwell. He really is unwell. Well, there is that. I'm sorry. I can't. Okay. Even with me not being in politics and not having a political bone in my body, I knew after term 1 that I did not want to go through term 2. So all of them should have known the same. So that's all I'm saying. They knew their soybean prices were going down. They knew they were having trouble with their farms, but they voted anyway. There is no way to describe the crestfallen look. Good night, all. See you in the morning. Thank you, Jen. If you hadn't fought the UK, then the king could remove him. I'm just saying. No, because the king invited him over for dinner. The king did not have to invite him. I'm sorry. He could have left him right over here. And then let them spend the night? Oh, no. No. Roberta, which station were you listening to? I want to see the one she saw. Yeah, you did. Oh, and they wouldn't even sleep in the same room. They had to have 2 different rooms. So, yeah. And then he brought his children. I'm sorry. That's not what I pay taxes for. His whole family to go over to the UK? Why? And Tiffany just had a baby, so she's over in the UK and her baby is where? Okay, see you on Friday. Okay, I'll find a broadcast since you're not going to share the one you watch, but that's okay because I know he's all over the place. Everybody be safe, be blessed, and thank you so much for being here. I love you all. Dinky Jen says, one UK yarn company is now shipping to the US with no tariffs. You blame Camilla? Oh, you'll message it to me? Okay, thank you. All right, everybody, those who can make it, I will see you tomorrow for Whip It Wednesday. And I got a whip. Love y'all. Take care now. Bye-bye.